Welcome back to another episode of the Unframe of Mind show, where we have uncomfortable conversations without a condom.
Or reactions.
Yes. I'm your host, Daniel Wagner.
I'm Anthony Treywick.
And we may have missed the boat on this one.
Oh, we did.
As you were telling me.
Yeah.
Because we haven't been recording episodes. But you know what? I feel like this still needs a good reaction from us, because this covers the exact stuff that we cover. This Men North of Richmond by Oliver.
Have you heard of it?
Anthony. I've definitely heard of it. How could you not hear about it? I mean, if you haven't heard of this song by now, you're living under a rock. So
you're not going to get that first-time impression of a song from us. Sorry.
I have not listened to the whole song all the way through myself. I've heard enough clips, though, from all the other news media sources and whatnot,
right,
that I'm pretty sure I know the song by heart by now, which is a weird way to listen to music.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. If you're one of those people that feel like we need to play the whole song through before we react to it, you're on the wrong channel. So I'm just going to let you know right now, we're going to interrupt this song like crazy, and we pause, we listen, then we start playing again. So with that being said, what do you say we check out the song there, Anthony?
Yeah, let's hear the first 8 seconds and then pause it.
So this is Oliver Anthony, Men North of Richmond.
All right.
Here we go.
I've been selling my soul, working all day, overtime hours for bullshit pay, so I can sit out here and waste my life away, drag back home and drown my troubles away. It's a damn shame.
Wow.
What the world's gotten to for people like me, people like you.
Made it 24 seconds in.
I know.
Congratulations.
I know. That's like
unlock achievement
3 times the amount. So yeah. So this is probably the number one lyric or number one verse I've been hearing from people, all the pundits playing it and whatnot.
Selling my soul.
Just the idea of working all these hours, constantly grinding away. And I know you know something about this, because that's all you've been doing. That's the reason we haven't been doing a lot of shows too. Is just
I work on average 60 hours plus a week. Is what I work now.
That's a ridiculous amount.
40 hours is no longer a part of my bank account or even vocabulary.
You wouldn't know what to do if you started working 40 hours.
But in fairness, I'm not working for bullshit pay either. So it's a little bit different.
Yeah, it's actually worth it to you. But that's more than can be said about a lot of folks. And
yes.
I mean, I'm glad that I was able to reorient my life in a way that I can work for myself.
Yep.
I'm still not making millions of bucks, but at least I'm not working all the I'm not sitting there working at a mindless job that I can't stand. That I'm just working for the money alone.
I've had jobs where I've worked for bullshit pay, as you mentioned. So I've been down that road before, and it's got me where I'm at today. But this is one of those songs that resonates with everybody, because we've all been there. I've been there. You've been there. Everybody has. And he's right. It's
especially when you look at the rate of people that are working from paycheck to paycheck. Like, what's it, like 90% or some?
It's a lot.
It's a ridiculously high number. The amount of people that are working
in some cases
paycheck to paycheck.
They're working 2 jobs, because they're trying to supplement the inflation that's going on right now that everybody's experiencing, not only here in the U.S. but across the world.
When that many people work paycheck to paycheck, how can you not hear that lyric and go, "Yup,
yeah,
yup"? Yeah. Holy crap! I mean, it's just nonstop. You feel like you're working, and then for what? To turn around and do that shit again?
Yeah,
like it's ridiculous. But let's continue.
The world's gotten to for people like me, people like you. Wish I could just wake up and it not be true, but it is. Oh, it is. Living in the new world with an whole soul. These rich men north of Richmond, Lord knows they all just wanna have total control. Wanna know what you think, wanna know what you do, and they don't think you know, but I know that you do. 'Cause your dollar ain't shit, and it's taxed to no end. 'Cause the rich men know the rich men.
Okay, that has been
such a catchy song.
Yeah, it is. Interestingly, I've noticed a lot of people who hear that, and depending on where you're at ideologically, you hear that lyric differently.
Yeah.
And from my perspective, I'm hearing that Richmond North of Richmond. I'm hearing that he's talking about the politicians, which I think that's what that actually means. It's what town is north of Richmond? Well, it's Washington D.C. He's talking about the politicians.
A lot of people can make that correlation. I mean,
right.
But then there's a lot that can't.
Yeah, some people are hearing that lyric or hearing he talk about Richmond only, and they're just thinking he's talking about people who are rich, the wealthy,
or live up north. Yeah.
Yeah, or live up north.
You'd be surprised.
it's like no, I don't think he's actually talking about just rich people in general. I think I don't. But I'm just saying a lot of people when they hear it, they're hearing it, which is great that so many people can hear this song, and I think that's why it's resonating with so many people because you're hearing so many people can hear the same thing and hear different messages.
Right.
And so they relate to those different messages. That's wild that the music can do that.
Certain levels, yes, people are resonating.
Yeah, so I think that's really cool that they can do that. I just want to point out that from my perspective, I'm hearing him talk about the politicians, and actually heard him in an interview say that he's actually, when he was referring to the politicians, he wrote it in reference to the GOP at the time when he wrote the song.
It's aggravating seeing certain musicians and politicians act like we're buddies and act like we're fighting the same struggle here, like that we're trying to present the same message. It was funny seeing my song it was funny seeing it at the presidential debate. Because it's like, I wrote that song about those people.
Which a lot of people are hearing it from the right and going, oh, those, evil people in Washington thinking he's talking about the left.
No, from what I've heard from him, actually, he's done 2 videos. The first one he did, he said he's right down the line politically.
Yeah.
He's neither, left or right. What I found interesting is that during the presidential debate, this was at the beginning of the debate, and they were asking, certain candidates what their thought was on this song. And I thought it was interesting because the people that he was singing about are the people on stage.
People were on the stage, yeah.
That are running for office.
What'd they say?
So I didn't watch the debate. Fox limited the viewing on that for some reason. But to be honest with you, I listened to the Trump interview with Tucker more than I did the presidential debate. I just didn't have any interest.
Ain't that wild? Yeah, I don't think anybody's interested.
No.
Let's continue.
But I know that you do, 'cause your dollar ain't shit, and it's taxed to no end, 'cause the rich men,
dollar ain't shit. Boy, I know that's right.
Yeah.
It ain't buying us much anymore, is it?
Politicians, look out for minors, and not just minors on an island somewhere.
Okay, pause that for a second. So the first time I heard this, and maybe this is true, I don't know. Only Anthony does, and he'll have to explain himself. But and I think he may already have. But when I first heard that lyric, wish the politicians would look out for miners, I thought he was talking about coal miners rather than miners on an island somewhere, meaning, the whole Jeffrey Epstein situation.
Right.
But then I thought, okay, well, if not that, maybe Sound of Freedom talking about looking out for minors, the whole thing with, pedophilia and child sex trafficking and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So you can really interpret it so many different ways. But my original first thought process was coal miners because he's from that area or, surrounding area dealing with coal miners in Appalachia. But
that is interesting how you could,
Yeah, you can take that in 3 different ways that I'm aware of and see it for what it is. But unless you, actually know what he's talking about, I don't know. There's just...
Yeah, art's always open for interpretation.
Right.
And this is
that's
no
exactly
different.
what
this is
I
no
was
different at
getting
all.
with.
Wow, that's crazy. I didn't even think about miners like coal miners. That's but I can see it. I can see it for sure.
And not just miners on an island somewhere. Lord, we got folks in the street, ain't got nothing to eat, and the obese milking welfare.
That's true.
Well, God, if you're 5'3",
Wait, and the obese milk and welfare.
Yeah.
Wow.
Think of all the crap food you can buy with a what is it called? EBT card.
Food stamps, yeah.
Like you can go off and just buy all the shit food you want, and you're living off the government, and that is, there's a lot of people saying that it's fat phobia, it's fat shaming. No, it's calling it for what it is. You're using the financial services of the government to be able to support a really nasty habit. Now, it's all open to interpretation on how you look at that, obviously, but that's kind of where I'm kind of in line with that
I think more importantly, he's calling out the dichotomy between you got homeless people on the streets with nothing to eat, and you got people on food stamps that are obese and still able to buy. How is that even a problem? It shouldn't be a problem, but yet here we are in this day and age where we're actually, this is the reality of things. Like, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it's crazy.
If you were to think about it outside of just the song, like there's so many issues like that. They're like, you know, if this was just a regular old world, like why would we even see stuff like this?
Right.
Well done so far. Well done so far. We're halfway through the song now.
Yeah.
All right. We're doing great. We're doing great.
Obese, milk and welfare. Well, God, if you're 5'3" and you're 300 pounds, taxes ought not to pay for your bags of fudge rounds. Young men are putting themselves 6 feet in the ground, 'cause all this damn country does is keep on kicking them down.
So true, man.
Lord, it's a damn shame.
Wow.
What?
So what did you hear when you heard that?
Well, you know, young men are putting themselves 6 feet under the ground. And to me, what that spoke to me in the terms of, we have got a huge epidemic of narcotics, and especially with fentanyl running rampant through the U.S. And just, I recently had a friend of mine that, you know, he OD'd on fentanyl, you know, and he died a little over a year ago.
Wow.
He was found dead in his car in his driveway from fentanyl. Now, obviously, he's not young. He's the same age as I am. But still, you have a lot of young men that are just, their lives are not being fulfilled because of all the drugs that are currently running rampant throughout the U.S. But that's pretty much anywhere in the world. That's how I interpreted that.
Yeah, you know, you could also take it. I was thinking like the obesity epidemic.
Oh, that too, yeah.
The fact that people are eating themselves to ridiculous, you know.
Well, once again, it's open to interpretation, but yeah.
Right. Yeah. That's kind of what it made me think of. Is, you know, people based on the last lyric, because I was talking about, you know, people stuffing fudge rounds in their face basically, and then, you know, eating themselves to early grave.
Well, and I also look at, you know, talking about the country kicking them while they're down. I think a lot of that too is this whole toxic masculinity. You know, we'll edit that out. Toxic masculinity that we're constantly telling young men that it's not okay to be this way. They can't be men. They can't be, you know, rambunctious, and, you know, and you're fed so much of this stuff, and you're told not to be this way. That really just kind of does a number to the morale of men, especially young men across the country. And we're starting to see this huge. It's been going on for a while, but, you know, depression. Suicide has been through the roof, especially, you know, with the male population, the younger males. So I think that's what he's kind of getting at, or kind of alluding to, is this is kind of running rampant. So when you mix in the drugs, and you can't tell men to be men, and, you know, the government's kicking them while they're down, it just adds fuel to the fire, and it's driving depression, it's driving anxiety, it's driving all that. I can totally
see all that, yeah, for sure. It's amazing how such a simple song can have so much depth behind it, like so many different ways you can hear it, and things you can think about, and makes you remind you that it's a great summary of everything we're going
But again,
right
it
now,
resonates with so many people because of the way he was able to word this song and put it together the way that he was.
Right.
So
The fudge rounds, young men are putting themselves 6 feet in the ground, 'cause all this damn country does is keep on kicking them down. Lord, it's a damn shame what the world's gotten to for people like me, people like you. Wish I could just wake up and it not be true, but it is. Oh, it is living in the new world with an whole soul. These rich men north of Richmond, Lord knows they all just wanna have total control. Wanna know what you think, wanna know what you do, and they don't think you know, but I know that you do, 'cause your dollar ain't shit, and it's taxed to no end, 'cause the rich men north of Richmond.
Chills, man.
I've been selling my soul, working all day, overtime hours for bullshit pay.
Ooh, can we talk about that beautiful guitar?
Yeah. You know, I when I first heard this song, it was a couple of days after it had gone viral. And I spent probably the better half of a week and a half reading the comment section, just particularly on this video.
When you had time between your job you were working for.
Right. And the one thing I can collectively say about the comment section, although you get your few stragglers that are kind of negative, but for the most part, I would say probably 95% of them are pretty positive.
Yeah.
But the one thing I found very interesting is that this isn't just a U.S., well, as some would like to say, it's the anthem of the right wing, or no, it's an anthem for the working class. But here's what I like about it. It resonates with the American population because of what we're currently going through. But then something cool kind of happened along the way. Other people from other countries, other reactors, such as ourselves, but these other reactors are black, Hispanic, Asian, some are tribal, actually, I've learned. And these are people of all different demographics, races, religions, that all agree, that all feel the same thing that we felt. Why is that? Is because our world is going through the same thing. Not just the U.S.
Yep.
It's everywhere. This is a huge problem for middle to lower class people across the world, not just here in the U.S. And that's the one thing I want people to take away from this. If actually go into the comment sections. I've seen people from Australia, from the UK, from Japan. Guam was another one, which I thought was kind of weird. And then you see a lot of veterans and just average blue-collar workers, and all these people,
Capital T, the people, right?
are just coming together collectively. And I made a post on Facebook about this, and it's been a little while back, but I said this man was able to unite people from all over the world in 3.5 minutes than politicians have been able to do in the last 3, 10, 15, 20 years.
Yeah, I'd say 3 decades.
Right.
Minimum.
If that doesn't tell you, if you are a politician, think about that. This man was able to connect with complete strangers all across the world. Doesn't matter who you are. In 3.5 minutes, than what you're able to do in the term that you have been in political power. You should take a step back and realize what it is you're doing wrong.
100%.
They're not.
100%. Yeah.
This is why it's not a right-wing anthem. It's not a left-wing anthem. This is just an anthem for working class people. People like you and I. People that are watching this. People that react to it.
We're down here in the trenches doing the thing and dealing with it. We're all having to deal with the consequences of those in power, or the consequences of the actions of those in power. And this is kind of where we're at right now. You know,
what I hope happens, and I really doubt that it will, but I would hope that politicians, if they have any heart at all, and if they see how much it's resonating with the public, that maybe something inside of them might change, it might grab them a little bit, and then do something different. Now the problem is that, you know, the government has built themselves to look like this in front of the public for so many years. How do you start walking back to get the American and then the people worldwide to start believing in their governments again? That's going to be a daunting task to do.
I wouldn't even know where to begin.
How do you even do that? Well, I tell you what, this Richmond North of Richmond is not an anomaly. This has been something that's been brewing over time.
Yeah.
Like Trump. Trump was brewing over time. And eventually he was elected in office. He did what he did. Now, you know, we're kind of going through what we're going through now. I'm not surprised by this.
Yeah,
a lot of people are.
I don't think you and I, we've been paying attention enough. We see this is just the end symptom to a much deeper problem.
Right. So this is a good thing. And for the media to paint this as a right-wing anthem, and the left is furious over this.
Accusing him of being a plant even.
Yeah, here's the thing. This is the parasite of our country, in the world.
Yeah.
Is the media. This is if this doesn't show you clear cut what is the problem in our society right now is the media with dividing us, then you are essentially part of that problem.
Yeah, you're in denial.
You're in serious
for
denial.
sure.
Because if you can't see that this song has been uniting people, not dividing people, and you're listening to the media,
Yeah, we don't have enough of that.
you need to reflect on what it is that your worldview is, because it's skewed in a big way. So I've enjoyed this song. I am definitely looking forward to many more things that hopefully he's going to release on down the pike. Yeah, this is good, man. We needed this.
Yeah,
you know,
so
and
if you're watching this and you agree with our particular perspective, let us know in the comments. Maybe there's some message that we even missed throughout the whole thing and we didn't talk about. Hit us up in the comments. Let us know what you think.
everything's open to interpretation. So what is yours? You know, what did you hear?
Yep. And there you go. There you have it. We've that's another episode in the books for the Unframe of Mind show. I'm your host, Daniel Wagner.
Anthony Trewick.
Yep, this has been another uncomfortable conversation without a condom.
All right. We'll see you guys.
Out here and waste my life away. Drag back home and drown my troubles away. It's a damn shame.
Wow.
What the